Fully Ramblomatic Volume 2 Blu-ray containing every 2025 episode is now available in our store, and the Volume 1 Blu-ray is back in stock as well. On sale now.
Now that the dust has settled across Summer Game Fest's many showcases, the upcoming release schedule has finally begun to crystallize. Massive AAA adventures, long-awaited sequels, remakes of beloved classics, and potential indie bangers have all stuck their proverbial flags in the sand at chosen points from this summer all the way on through till next spring. But when we take a look at the various release dates laid out in front of us, there is one truth that's immediately evident. Every single video game developer and publisher is terrified of November 19th and the launch of Grand Theft Auto 6. To be fair, it was obvious that GTA was going to have this effect. The gravity surrounding its release will undeniably cause a massive black hole in pop culture that stragglers will easily get lost in. This was true back when it was previously slated for May 2026 and remains true with this new current release date. Now, I'm sure a lot of folks watching this video right now might be burnt out on GTA or the AAA industry in general, which I totally get. But even if you have no desire to play Rockstar's latest game, it cannot be stressed enough that the monumental impact of its release is already creating ripples across the industry and will continue to do so long after November. As of publisher Take-Two's last earnings call in May, GTA 5 has sold 230 million units, just shy of $250 million since its release in 2013. To put that in perspective, since 1996, the Resident Evil franchise has collectively sold 200 million units across 30 or so games. GTA 5 has sold more than Elden Ring, Skyrim, The Witcher 3, Breath of the Wild, and Stardew Valley combined. There's genuinely nothing like it across our medium, so I get why other publishers want to take a wide berth around it, either by dropping their games earlier on in the fall or later into the start of 2027. But a problem here is that with everything cramming into this 6-week span between the end of August and middle of October, there's just simply not enough oxygen in the room. Marvel's Wolverine releases 48 hours before the new Fire Emblem, which itself lands on the same day as Trails in the Sky's second chapter, Dawn of War 4, and Trine 6. A week later, on September 24th, we get Control Resonant, Silent Hill Townfall, and the new Burnout Paradise-inspired Hot Wheels game. A day after that, Capcom drops the new Onimusha. This interactive traffic jam stretches across a month and a half. It's quite literally our job to play video games, but we've already accepted the fact that there simply aren't enough hours in the day or days in the week for us to cover everything we want to get to in this stretch in a timely manner. And if that's how we're feeling when it's our job, I have to imagine that a vast majority of you will be making those same decisions when you have to choose what you want to spend your time and money on. And as I said before, this problem doesn't just exist prior to GTA's release. The trend of Q1 getting busier and busier continues into 2027, with Stranger Than Heaven, Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, Persona 4 Revival, and Fable all arriving within the first few weeks of the new year, and that lineup is only going to get busier and busier over the next few months. All that said, I do expect a lot of dates to shift in the coming months. Literally while writing this script, Valor Mortis moved from that incredibly busy September 24th to a still busy but slightly less so October 13th. But that also means that there are still plenty of games, especially indies, that'll get slotted in during those hectic weeks. While publishers and developers are clearly avoiding GTA, there is some merit in the idea of counterprogramming, especially with a game that feels quite a bit different than Rockstar's urban sandbox. In a separate medium, Barbie and Oppenheimer hit theaters on July 21st, 2023, with both helping one another raise the box office ties to record levels. And in games, we've seen big days where everybody wins in the past. November 2004 saw Half-Life 2, Metroid Prime 2, and Metal Gear Solid 3 all drop in the same 24-hour span. And October 27th, 2017 was home to Assassin's Creed Origins, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, and Super Mario Odyssey. Now, this November isn't technically devoid of non-GTA games, it's just that as of this recording, the other games are all remasters, ports, or collections. The GameCube-era Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee returns, Metaphor ReFantazio is coming to Switch, and a big ol' Barbie game bundle is en route. But for as big as GTA is, I still have to imagine that someone is going to step up to the plate and release a big game close to it. And yeah, there are a few potential games out there where the publisher might be confident and or foolish enough to enter GTA's orbit. Devolver Digital has already made cheeky goofs about counterprogramming Rockstar, and given their solid track record, the modest size of their projects, and the company's plucky spirit, I could see one of their more interesting indies providing a nice November palate cleanser. But in the AAA space, there are only 3 companies that are currently coming to mind. The first is PlayStation, specifically with its recently revealed God of War Laufey. It was shown off with an impressive 20-minute gameplay demo, and Sony did not give it a broad release window or even a specific year, leading to some speculation that the game could be ostensibly finished and that they're waiting for Wolverine to launch in September before prepping its big November release push. I personally do not see this happening, although I could absolutely see it releasing within the first half of 2027. The second, and I'd say more likely challenger to Rockstar's release date is Nintendo, who have a long and storied history of releasing tentpole games in the back half of November, ranging from Donkey Kong Country and Twilight Princess to Metroid Prime and countless Pokemon adventures. As of right now, Nintendo currently has no flags in the sand this November, with Pokemon Wind and Waves being revealed as 2027 games. However, with the newly announced Ocarina of Time remake having a nebulous 2026 stamped onto it, and with the original N64 masterpiece having dropped on November 21st, 1998, maybe Nintendo will take us back to Hyrule just a few days after GTA lands. Although, given that Nintendo revealed the game without a firm date, I'm leaning towards the theory that even internally, they haven't decided exactly where the game will slot in this fall. As much as the company moves to the beat of their own drum, I don't think even they are capable of drowning out the noise of GTA. And the third and final possible AAA contestant for November is Valve. Now, we know they're closing in on the release of both the Steam Machine and Steam Frame, though specific details remain nebulous thanks to, let's just say techno ghouls and their AI fetish. But if the hardware is still on track for this year, and if Valve really wants to make their launch a splash, it would make sense for them to pair it with a game that people have been waiting decades for. And while yes, I am partly hoping this is true because I went out on a limb and chose the unannounced mainline Half-Life game with my first pick in our 2026 Fantasy Critic League, I also think Valve is one of the few companies that is not afraid of Rockstar's competition. But no matter how good your game is, it still runs the risk of being overshadowed by something potentially generational like GTA. I always look at Sony's Horizon series as a franchise that, despite garnering great sales and reviews, has had its legacy dampened thanks to dropping in the wrong place at the wrong time on 2 separate occasions. The original Horizon hit in early 2017, 3 days before the Nintendo Switch and Breath of the Wild. And then its sequel dropped in February of 2022, only to have Elden Ring land with a monumental wait a few days later. When I look back at these moments, it's clear which of these games garnered the most attention and conversation, and spoilers, they did not have Robo-Dinos. Oh, and there's still a non-zero chance that Grand Theft Auto 6 gets delayed once again, meaning that we might not even be spending this November 19th driving around Vice City.
Before I give you this, there's one thing to remember. The slower the cook, the better the taste.
But that would mean more free time for celebrating National Toilet Day, so, bright side and all that. As always, thanks for watching us here at Second Wind. If you dig our nonsense and like the sound of supporting independent media in the hellscape of 2026, consider joining our Patreon, where your monthly contribution will be met with regular columns, fun exclusive videos, and our eternal gratitude this upcoming National Toilet Day.